Welcome back to the channel. The judge just gave Mounk 5 years, y'all. Let's get into what happened, what led up to it, and don't forget, please hit the like button, please subscribe, turn on your notification bell so when I get the drop, you get the drop. And thank you for tuning in. Send out some prayers to Mounk. So let's get into why she's doing this. He embarrassed her. He ruined her case, him and Woody. So she can't go after Woody because Woody don't have no pending case. He has this effed up agreement so she can go after him. So that's what she's doing. Let's get into it.
Asking you again for a non-custodial revocation punishment.
Okay, well, I don't view it as a technical violation or akin to a technical violation, considering the solemn oath that he took when he said that he understood every term within the plea agreement, factual acknowledgments, and sentencing acknowledgments, and understood and, in fact, orally answered that he understood when both outside the prosecutor and the court at his plea hearing that failure to abide by any of the terms would constitute a violation of the agreement, and he was notified that the entirety of his probation could be revoked. I do appreciate the fact that this particular violation is a non-violent violation, but I also appreciate the fact that some of the why this could have occurred include the fact that there is just not a proper regard for the judicial system and the seriousness with which an oath in court needs to be taken. I actually view this much more akin to perjury, frankly, than a technical violation. And the sentence for perjury is up to 10 years. I am going to revoke 5 years of Mr. Sledge's probation. And Mr. Sledge, I am sympathetic to the fact that you have generally stayed out of trouble, and I want to commend you for that. And I really hope that this revocation doesn't set you back. But we've got to take seriously the court system. So that's the sentence of the court. I find there to have been that violation. I'm revoking 5 years.
And
he will be continued on probation, Your Honor?
And reinstate the balance. Thank you.
Might I ask, is it possible for my client to turn himself in to make arrangements?
I think y'all knew when you came in here that this was a strong possibility. So, no.
I think so.
Were there deputies?
I think so.
Were there DA investigators?
I think, yes.
Obviously, you said your lawyer was here?
Yes.
All right. Was your friend Shannon here?
If you try to get to the point.
Mr. Sledge, I'm not trying to get to anything, and I really do need you to just answer the question. So if you could please, Your Honor, the court would instruct the witness to answer the question.
Listen to the question and answer the question.
And then you
ask, and then you may explain it.
I would ask
And Your Honor, since his answer was not responsive,
His answer was not responsive.
I'd ask that you
Re-ask the question.
Was your friend, Mr. Stillwell, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was your friend, Defendant Williams, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was your friend, Defendant Kendrick, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for your friend, Mr. Williams, here in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for your friend, Mr. Stillwell, here in court with you on 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for your friend, Mr. Kendrick, here in court with you on December? The objection. Hold on, hang on.
relevance to whether I was in attendance at the time he took his plea.
Your Honor,
Overruled.
Was the lawyer for your friend, Mr. Kendrick, here in court with you on December 28th, 2022? You can answer first, and I will let you explain, but I need you to answer yes or no.
But could you stop yelling at me like I'm your child if I'm not your child?
You are not.
You talking aggressive to me. You don't intimidate me. All those guys over here. So if you would have came to me and asked me that, I'd have told you the same thing, whether they was in my face or not in my face. I'm not scared of them, are you?
I don't want you to be.
Well, that's what you acting like it. That's what you acting like you're trying to pay.
So do you want me to bring my voice down? And I apologize.
Don't holler at me. I ain't no child. Could I take a break? Y'all come.
No, we've had so many breaks this morning. We really need to get through this.
All right. So, Mr. Sledge, was either Quay that is in the courtroom here today in the courtroom with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was Lil Rod in the courtroom with you on December 28, 2022?
Get to your point, no.
That is my point.
Your point is
Okay.
pointless.
Was the lawyer for Mr. Huey Quay in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for Cornelius Nichols in court with you on December 28, 2022?
No.
Was the lawyer for Little Rod in court with you on December 28, 2022?
I don't know if that's been asked and answered or not.
It was not.
Okay, well, go ahead if you say it was.
Was the lawyer for
No.
Little Rod?
No.
On cross-examination, defendant Stillwell's attorney, Mr. Sharp, asked you about Shell Kelp and Trivia. Do you remember that?
I don't recall.
All right. When did you lose recollection of what happened 3 days ago?
I don't recall.
Are all of your answers to every question I ask from now on going to be, I don't recall?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't recall.
And what caused you to lose your memory?
You put so much pressure on my brain, I don't forgot everything. I can't remember all this stuff that's been asked to me for the last 4 days. It's like, it's confusing. So I'm not, like you said, I completed the 9th grade. I'm not that intelligent to be remembering all this stuff that you keep asking me. My brain just everywhere. I might need to go see somebody after this court time.
Mr. Sledge, did you have any problem at all understanding the questions asked to you about Brian Steele?
I don't recall.
All right. Did you lose your memory at any point with Mr. Steele?
He wasn't pressing me like you. He was helping me. He was explaining to me. He was breaking down. But it seemed like.
What you're saying? I'm gonna respond to that.
Objection. The witness should be allowed to answer the question.
Were you finished with your answer?
No, she couldn't. No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
I said Mr. Steele was explaining to me. He wasn't pressuring me, but every time it seems like I'm getting up there with you, I'm giving you my truth, and you still trying to pressure me to say something you want me to say when I'm giving you the truth that I know.
Mr. Sledge, do you understand that there's a difference between the way that a prosecutor can ask you questions and the way that a defense attorney can ask you questions?
No.
Do you understand that I cannot lead you when I'm asking you questions?
Sustained.
Okay. When you say that there's a difference between the way that Mr. Steele asks you questions and the way that I ask you questions, would you help me understand what that difference is so that I can ask you questions in a way that does not frustrate?
Oh, well, and he kind of has told you.
She said, you overruled.
Ask your next question.
Okay.
All right. So, will you help me down a bit so that I'm not frustrating you, okay?
You already have.
I understand.
I don't need to.
Can we rewind?
No.
All right. When you were asked about Antrevia, was Shell the person you said who had also started a relationship with Antrevia after you?
I don't recall.
What is confrontational about that question?
I just don't recall.
Why don't you recall?
Because you pressured me, I don't recall. You heard my brain.
All right, so let's take an early lunch and you can calm down in the meantime, hopefully, and then we will come back.
Call between a rock and a hard place with Mr. Sharp as far as coming in here and testifying to something different than what you put in the factual acknowledgments.
I came, from my understanding, I would be able to explain the things that you wouldn't change.
Mm-hmm.
That was from my understanding. So now I'm in here testifying my truth and not what you put on paper and your answer. These is not my answers on this paperwork. Yeah, I did sign it, but if you would have came to me personally, like I think you should have did, and asked me this yourself, I would have told you no.
Did you testify that lay low were my words and not yours when I asked you on direct examination about defendant Williams giving YSL members money to lay low after the murder of Donovan Thomas?
When you asked me at that meeting, I told you we could have gave YSL money to lay low because I'm the only one who stayed in Atlanta. I need money to get out of harm's way. I borrowed $300.
I'm talking about in court last week. Do you remember saying, I didn't say lay low, those were your words?
Them is your word. I didn't say lay low. That was already on this paper. I never used the word lay low to you not one time. All this stuff that you trying to say, it was already on the paper. You changed certain things and then we agreed, and then I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't even want to say that. I got another paper that's saying you changed number 8. It went from one thing to another thing. You don't want to red flag that?
No, I do.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Because you changed the personal knowledge and I ain't changed it.
Thank you for that.
I would have never said yes to that. When I got to the last paperwork, I thought we had an understanding of what the emails my lawyer sent you.
So do you now remember getting multiple versions of states 444Y that was changed at your request?
Not all of it.
Okay. Well, let's just show you. And you tell me which ones you remember.
Sure ain't gonna make me remember none of this stuff.
Okay.
I ain't gonna remember none.
So, do you remember asking the state to change more than one thing on the factual acknowledgement?
A lot of times.
Do you remember the state making changes at your request?
I don't really know because I seen something different today that it wasn't what I thought it was the day I agreed.
Do you remember last week testifying that you hadn't seen any other document besides the one you signed?
I just seen them today.
Okay.
I didn't see it. My lawyer was just coming asking me, and I guess he thought the question was gonna be changed, and I don't think they was changed.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that. Since you won't remember, that's fine. I want you to tell the jury.
I never used the word tell the jury. I just said exactly what you said to me. I say, Ms. Love told me that she didn't want me to say that, and she wasn't gonna ask me that question.
Okay, so then your memory is not, you don't remember telling Mr. Steele, you do not remember asking Mr. Steele saying, did Miss Love tell you, do not tell the jury?
If he said jury, I forgot, I made a mistake. And I should have corrected Mr. Steele if he said jury. But I'm telling you what you said to me and to me. I ain't saying you said don't tell it to the jury. But that's the way I took it too, cause that's who I'm supposed to be talking to, right? Telling the truth to, right?
Right.
Okay, so in my way, not the law way, that's the way I took it. Cause if somebody tell me, oh, I don't want you to tell my girlfriend this, I'm gonna take it as, you feel what I'm saying? You don't want me to tell the truth.
Okay.